All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the markleskopodcast. Joined by Jerrod Miller to talk Penn State and the Steelers. If you in the ticker at the bottom, I always have Jerrod's stuff in there. So go support his stuff. Jerrod does a great job. Chris Gorky said that Jerrod can sing the national anthem at the spring game and that he should be on radio with Steve Jones. So Chris Gorky is a big fan of yours, Jerrod.
I appreciate it, bud. I've had many people when we bring up Penn State stuff, I start talking, and everyone just always goes like, you sound an awful lot like Steve Jones, the guy that does the Penn State stuff. I'm like, I get it all the time. I'm flattered, but I mean, I would like to meet this guy someday so I can really get a comparison.
Yeah, like I was telling you, Brett met him the other day, and can you hear me okay? Sorry, my freaking mic is doing down.
Yeah, you're good, bud.
Yeah, Brett met him the other day, and he said that Steve listens to us, which is cool. He said he remembered me from something. I forget what he said, but he remembered me from something. I've seen him on the golf course and stuff, and yeah, he's always a very nice guy.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I wanted to have Jerrod on because yeah, we'll see, man.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, Thomas. But yeah, it's cool that he watches. But yeah, go support Jerrod's stuff. I was telling him about the algorithm, and it this time last year we were getting like 10 views a video, and now we're getting minimum 200-300. That's because Penn State football, our show, is in the algorithm. Basketball, our basketball show is not in the algorithm. And Jerrod's stuff, Jerrod, he gets views that are higher than what we did when we started. So that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
But YouTube just kind of they have to feel you out. It takes a while. It took me, it took us 4 years. Well, yeah, 4 years now, almost to the day that we started on YouTube, and we just started, blowing up this year. So yeah. It takes time, man. Hopefully yours is quicker, but yeah, YouTube is one of those things. Some people, I think the average is a year where you get monetized. It took us almost 4, so it is what it is. But yeah, we have a good audience now. But yeah, support Jerrod's stuff, and we're gonna start a POD store at some point, selling merch. Jerrod can have his own line, and we'll have a women's line because we have some women that listen to us.
Nice.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about McCarthy. Jerrod's not happy, which I understand. He's not my first choice, but we'll talk about some positives that I think a lot of people aren't considering.
Right.
But yeah, Jerrod, what do you think about the staff so far at Penn State? It's pretty much everything solidified at this point.
Yeah. So obviously we know Matt Campbell, Iowa State. And if I'm right, Taylor Mouser, he came from Iowa State too. He came along with him from his staff. He was the tight ends coach, correct?
Mouser?
Yes.
No, he was the OC at Iowa State. Paulie was the wide receivers guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Tight ends coach.
Well, it says here on the description, it says that he was says special teams offensive coordinator, tight ends coach. That's what it says for
who is
Mouser.
it?
Taylor Mouser. It says title offensive coordinator, tight ends on my screen right now. I'm looking at
Right. Yeah. So I think he must have been that at Iowa State as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what they said. He spent the last 10 years, 10 seasons at Iowa State's coaching staff under Matt Campbell. Yeah. Said he was named 2025 Football Scoop Tight Ends Coach of the Year. I mean, you got to go start somewhere, right? I mean, it seems like that's the smart way to go, especially with a guy like now. Is Matt Campbell, do they know what side he favors? Is he both? Like, does he more defense or offense? Like, what's his specialty?
So Matt Campbell, he's mainly offense.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense that the guy that he got. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that his offensive coordinator is someone that he coached with at Iowa State. So that makes complete sense. Let's see, Dante Lynn. He was
Lynn,
at USC, right?
He was at UCLA, USC, played at Penn State.
Yes.
And yeah, Campbell is an offensive guy. So that's another thing. Franklin and Brett and I have retired talking about Franklin in a bad way. Sometimes he'll come up.
Right.
But this is just a reference. Franklin couldn't put an offense together if they were paying him $85 million. And they were paying him $85 million. So he still couldn't do it.
Right.
But yes.
Well, I'm just saying, for me to bury my own, James Franklin, never bring it up again. I feel like James Franklin was the master of finding men and like putting them on the board. Like he knew what chess was. He knew what the pieces were. He just decided to put them all on the board incorrectly. I just feel like that's really what his issue was. Like he always put like the king over here in the corner with a rook, and like the pawn was like for some reason with the knight. Like, it just seemed like he was all over the place, not putting places where it needed to be. So I feel like Matt Campbell, at least he'll know what strategy you're going to use to move the board forward, to use the chess analogy. Like, that's the thing about it, dude. It's a game of chess. Like, you got to know where the pieces go, how they're going to move, how you're going to like see your opponent and know how to make the moves right and make it work. And that's it. It's all about winning. And it's plain to see that Matt Campbell has spent a long time being a master at that. Like, in the sense, like he's good at putting players where they need to go. It just seems like that's another thing with coaching. You need to also have a good support around you that does the same thing. So if he's an offensive-minded guy, that makes complete sense that Mouser is his guy, and that just solidifies that side of the ball. And yeah, I know that we need to make sure that we score. That's really the important part in this day and age. Like, as much as we are you a defensive guy too? I am.
I would have to say more offensive.
Okay, I'm a defensive guy. I'm pride on like knowing how to put the post up and not let you get through. Like, I just think there's something intriguing about that. Like, sure, anybody can, be flashy and all that stuff, but when there's something about a big old burly guy that just knocks you down like that, I find that more fun to watch. But I feel like it is important in this day and age to get your offense right. That is the direction in which the game is gone. It used to be a defensive heavy culture. Now it's more of an offensive culture. So I'm very much trusting Matt Campbell and Mouser to get that stuff right. And again, Penn State, it's a coincidence that you have the tight end connection. Like he says, he wasn't a tight end coach. That's kind of what we've slowly become. We used to be the linebacker, and the running back machine. We had a couple wide receivers here and there, but now all of a sudden it's like every tight end we put through, they're all of a sudden NFL prime and they're ready to go into the next stage. So it's a good thing that we got a guy who's a specialty with tight ends, because that's what we like to produce now. So, but as far as Dante Lynn, I looked it up a little bit. I saw that at USC, he took their defense, I think it was 2024, and they went from having 33 points per game or something like that to 24. So knowing that there is a huge improvement in, when he came in, all of a sudden they looked a lot better. That bodes well for us. That's a good thing. I mean, I feel like that is something that we had to address, at least from last year. I felt like there was a lot of things that just went wrong defensively for Penn State, because I guess they just did not have the talent there. I mean, they didn't focus on it. I don't know if James Franklin and company didn't look at the defensive side of the ball, but I always felt like our linebacking room wasn't flushed. The safeties were good, but they weren't they weren't up to par like what we are used to seeing from Penn State's defense. So I thought we had a real, what's the word? I guess just it was inconsistent. There was just not a whole lot going on with them. So I feel like bringing in a guy that can improve, that's the best, as good as you can ask for. So I'm pretty impressed with what they have built so far in terms of the coaching staff. But as far as the roster, Bud, the only thing I've heard recently is that what's his name? Spell. What's his first name?
Keemon Spell. Yep.
Keemon Spell. Yeah, that's the last name I heard of recently. from where did he come from? I know it was a transfer.
Kimon?
Yeah, is he a 5-star recruit or 4?
He's a 5-star, number one back in the country.
Okay.
He could reclassify to this year.
Okay.
But he's a high school kid, so he's not a transfer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
But no, so I mean, seeing that, yeah, you're right. I was saying that it was a 5-star recruit. So that was like, okay, so now we're starting to get these names in the conversation with Matt Campbell. Everyone was always talking, oh, well, it's just Iowa State or, nothing but Cyclones, And so I feel knowing that we can't actually get guys to come here, that's the thing. No matter what people try to say about, is it a great destination, Penn State? Like, is it a flashy destination? The history is there. We've had many decades of success. Like that, the name Penn State is always associated with, you always are in the conversation. You may not be the flashiest, you may not be, thought of as the Ohio States or Michigans of this Big Ten, but we're right there. I mean, we're like 3rd or 4th always in the conversation. So these players that come here, they know that that's the tradition. They know the whiteout's the biggest atmosphere in all of college football. And that's just really what we sell. We sell these big moments. We have these great atmospheres. So I don't see why that the 5-star, 4-star recruits just cannot continue.
Yeah. We're in a good spot. When it comes to football, and what we're building right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
An article came out about Franklin recently, basically saying that he was what we thought. He was not good at his job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot wrong.
Yeah.
Again, I thank Franklin because I believe he worked very hard when he was here. And I felt bad that it didn't work out for him. I did. Even though he did himself zero favors and he carried himself very arrogantly and he was very, very insecure about criticism and stuff. I wanted it to work for him more than anybody. But he did a lot of things wrong. So you have to compare now to what they're doing now to what they did before in terms of the previous staff. They're building a team that is going to fit them. Matt Campbell said it in his interview with LeVar on Roar Plus. He said, just because it looks good doesn't mean it is good.
Right.
It has to be a fit. Matt Campbell has made many good moves, in my opinion. He kept Terry Smith. He's bringing in good coaching. He's bringing in guys he's comfortable with, most likely. He got a defensive line coach from, I think, UCLA, or a defensive end coach from UCLA, defensive line coach from somewhere else, a DC from somewhere else, a running backs coach from somewhere else, and then he's got some guys from his previous staff. Terry Smith, like I said, he has retained many key players: Quentin Martin, Andrew Rapplier, Kobe Howard, Tony Rojas. I mean, he pretty much retained everything we wanted, except for Chaz Coleman. But again, Chaz Coleman, I think for him, it's from the neck up. He sees money or whatever. I don't know. But he should have stayed, but he didn't. Kept Yvonne Kamaju. And he brought in other guys. He brought in Iowa State guys. He brought in guys from all over the country. He's putting a good roster together, and he's got a good staff. It's pretty much solidified at this point. So, he's done a very, very good job to me. If I had to give him a grade in terms of, for me personally, it would be like an A+. But in terms of like college football, other people, you encompass it all together. People would probably give him like a BB+, because he didn't go out and get like these huge 5-star names out of the portal, these big time names. He didn't keep Chaz Coleman, stuff like that. But I think he's done a very good Penn State Terry Smith performance He's done it in a very Penn State, Terry Smith type of way.
Right.
So I'm very happy with what he's doing. And I'm very happy with what we're hearing about the 27 guys that are visiting. They're very happy, very impressed. They've taken shots at the previous coaches. It's not all flash and this is what you can do and all this stuff. Effort means nothing, according to that article in practice. This team, they're like, this is what we want from you.
Right.
How can you do that? Rather than this is what we can give you. You're great. You know, we're going to recruit you in because you're a 5-star flashy guy. It's a totally different thing. So it's totally turned around. It's a totally different approach. It's Penn State football again. So I'm very happy, but they have to lock in now and they have to build this roster and this staff into next season. They have to lock in. They're locked in, but 26 is here. We're in the season already. This podcast is going to be on here twice a week, all off season, at least twice a week,
nice.
Covering Penn State football. Not a lot of podcasts do that. We're going to be on here. It started after the national championship ended. Okay, the season is here. Now, the season started from the day Matt Campbell was hired, but the season officially started January 19th at like 11:30 p.m. So we got to lock in. We have a favorable schedule, and they're doing it. They're setting it up. It seems to be the right way. I don't want to get too excited. I'm very excited, but I don't want to get too excited, too ahead of myself. Now is the time they lock in and we beat the piss out of Marshall, and then we take advantage of our favorable schedule the rest of the year. We're here now. So I'm happy with what they're doing. But did you ask me something specific or?
No, I was just trying to get a good fit for like what exactly like Matt Campbell's direction would be, because I mean, with again, one more mention of James Franklin, you know, when you have Andy Kolodnicki and Jim Knowles as the other guys, those are prolific names. Like they had good cachets at the places they were at, but you do see what happens when you bring big names with big names with big names. It's like if one of those big names doesn't work well with the other big names, it's all over the place then. Like it's not consistent. And I feel like because James Franklin thought he was a big name, he thought he could do no wrong, and he always knew what was going to happen, or he didn't know how he was going to, you know, the Jim Knowles and Andy Kolodnicki, what they were going to do, because they, I guess, I don't know if they butt heads all the time, but they just seem like they weren't on the same page. That's really what this comes down to, where you got a guy who thinks he knows what he's doing, and the results never match what he had. You can't take a 5-star recruit like Drew Aller and turn him into basically Paper Mario. Like that right there that's terrible. Like
he could be undrafted.
I mean, dude, that's terrible. Like I cannot believe how big we all made that news where we had a 5-star number 1 overall recruit coming to Penn State. That was like the craziest thing ever. And we witnessed basically what happens when the right guy is not giving him the right guidance. Like it was the worst matchup with James and him. And again, I don't know if Terry could have done any different. I don't know if a guy like Matt Campbell would have improved. I think it would have, obviously. I just feel like anyone could have been better than James. But the bottom line is, I feel like this guy may have a certain edge to him in the sense like he may have a competitive nature like James Franklin did, but it's clear that this guy likes to have a little more camaraderie. He has like a little more communication. I feel like having the right guys around you is going to make that point very clear, especially to the players. I feel as if like, and again, not to connect it with the Steelers, but you feel like when you watch certain teams with coordinators, with coaching, and like, does it all work together? I mean, those 4 guys between the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and the special teams coordinator, if all 4 of them work like points on a compass, then you're going to know where you're going. That's really what it is. If it points to the right direction, it's all going to, you know, find their way home. And I feel like with James and everybody, that thing was just spinning around like that. Like there was no direction. We didn't know where we were going. It just felt all over the place. So having that type of stability, I feel like is going to really set this team up for success. And if you keep that formula, that's really what's going to make a good building process for your players that come in. They're going to come into the culture. I mean, they're going to buy into it immediately. But then there's also the work that goes into it. It's almost like what is it? Like, you watch those boxing movies and the boxer's just getting bloodied up something or other, and that trainer's just sitting there kind of like, look at me. Are you seeing me? Like, look what I'm going to tell you what to do. You got to look at his left. Go in there, get under him, and start working him. Like, they're going to tell you what to do, and that's really what we need. I feel like Matt Campbell is going to be a much better trainer in the ring than James was.
Developer. Yeah, we got to stay healthy, Thomas. Yeah, Ohio State seems to be Arthur Smith, dude. Are you Jerrod, we'll talk about that.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That is so funny.
We'll talk about that with McCarthy. My God, that's bad. It's not announced yet, Virginia Tech fanatics. Probably Rocco, but we don't hand out, we don't hand out starters. And that's one thing James Franklin never did, man. He said we have a quarterback battle every year. We don't have a starter. We're going in with, we don't know who it is. Fans knew, but yeah, we don't do that. Franklin doesn't either. But Virginia Tech fanatics, I wish you guys the best. I always did. I don't like your coach, but I wish him the best. And you're welcome on here, man, as long as you don't troll. You seem like you're just a inquisitive fan. So, but I'm gonna buy Virginia Tech stuff and wear it on the show next year to troll. I'm probably gonna get a Virginia Tech polo to wear to work. Make my coworkers laugh.
Just get the flag and start waving around.
Yeah, that's just, dude. They're gonna think that's hilarious. Every time I wear it, it'll be like, that's hilarious. Yeah, Rocco is the guy, most likely. But
I do like him.
Yeah, depth I don't think will be an issue. We need like another defensive end, probably another receiver. But yeah, we just got to stay healthy. Yeah, get a chokey hat. Masker already has. Yeah, so yeah, we got some depth too, Colton. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I'm really happy with the staff. He has a good staff he put together. Our defensive line coach was out west recruiting a 4-star kid. He's Samoan or something like that. Nice. I think he was in Hawaii. I forget where he was, Washington or Hawaii out west. But that's the purpose of bringing in a guy like that. He has ties. We have ties everywhere. Right. But what we have to do is we have to recruit. We have a lot of talent locally. The Midwest, the Northeast is a lot of talent.
Terry basically owns like.
Yeah, he does. And we're going to out-recruit Franklin, I think, every year. But even if we don't, it doesn't matter. Because we're going to develop guys. It's not all about flash. Terry Smith was with the number 1 corner in the 27 class recently. I mean, they're putting in work. And I forget what high school they're at. I think it's like the high school that Abdul Carter went to. Is it McDonough? Hold on. I can't remember all these freaking names. Brett would know. LaSalle. So they're making ties with LaSalle. The only 2 offensive and defensive rookies of the year in the NFL from the same. So Penn State is the only school that has had the offensive offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. Okay.
Nice.
Who are they, Jerrod? Do you know?
Like from this year?
Yes. No. From all time. Penn State is the only school that has an offensive rookie of the year and a defensive rookie in the year in the NFL. They're different years, but you have any guesses?
Again, don't. I feel like I'm going to be making a fool of myself, but offensively, was it Franco Harris?
No, I don't know if they had that back then, but
okay,
it was.
I didn't know how far back that statistic went. Can you just give me a ballpark? Just give me I'm sorry not to. So I don't want to guess.
It was in the Franklin era.
Oh, it was in the okay, so that helps a lot. Offensive rookie of the year. What position?
Well, running back and linebacker.
Oh, Saquon. Duh.
Saquon.
Yep.
And who else?
Micah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Penn State is the only school that has both, right?
The minute you said the Franklin era, I'm like, oh, yeah, I should get this in a second.
The only school that has both, and they're both from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay. That's insane. Abdul Carter, Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, all from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Dan Marino, Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Dude, there's I don't think Pennsylvania has the most Hall of Famers, but it's close. I think Texas has number one.
You know what, dude? My dad and I just watched a video yesterday actually on that thing. Do we have, if I'm right, do we have 5 or 6? I think we have 6 Hall of Famers from Penn State. I know Franco Harris and Jack Hammer, one
easily.
of them. I know that, but I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of NFL Hall of Famers, but Penn State, but the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, you mean that? Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about when
Hold on a second. Let me look it up. Because I looked this up not too long ago. Okay, so come on, Google. Go faster. All right. U.S. states with the most Hall of Famers. Dude, that can't be right. States with the most NFL Hall of Famers. California, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, 27.
Wow.
And Texas is at 4 with 23. Ohio is 3rd at 24. So, yeah, Pennsylvania. But Pennsylvania, dude, like,
yeah,
California is a massive state.
Yeah. I mean, their population's got to be at least tens of millions more than we do.
All right, so Alaska is the biggest. Texas, we have more than Texas, and they're bigger than California's way bigger. Texas is actually bigger than California. And then Pennsylvania and Ohio, they're way down the list in terms of size of the state, and that matters because that means population. I think.
What do we have? 12 million in this state? Is it something like that?
I think so.
I know that it's around that number.
California has the highest population. Texas has the second highest. Pennsylvania has the 5th. Ohio has the 7th. So we have less population, but more Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But, dude, Pennsylvania, man, it's just not to get off on a tangent, but, man, there's just something in the water. Like, Pennsylvania is football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, offensive and defensive rookies from the same school, only school that has both, and they're both from Pennsylvania. So, but here's the thing about Franklin, too, with recruiting. Like, he was at Penn State. Recruiting-wise, I thought he was a great recruiter. But if you think about it, he had like one top 5 class. So he wasn't that great. He really wasn't. And Penn State, and people have said this too, Penn State sold the recruits, not Franklin.
Right.
And he's going to have a tough time down at Virginia Tech because it's Virginia Tech. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're probably not getting a ton of top talent to go there.
Yeah.
You know, it is
you
what
got
it
the
is.
military, you got the beach. I mean, there's.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, I'm happy with the staff, Jerrod. I mean, they're doing everything that they can, and I think they're doing a very good job. I think they're doing it the way they want to.
Right.
And I also read in that article that not one player left because they were told to leave. Matt Campbell said, if you want to stay, you can stay. So they didn't force anybody out.
Right.
Because this is a pretty talented roster as it is. So Matt Campbell is doing it the right way. They're doing it their way, and it's going to work. They have a hungry staff. So,
well, listen, Jerrod, I mean, they're coming into the Big Ten. They got a lot to prove, bud, and that's the right direction.
Yep. All right. What are your thoughts on the roster? That is Cooper, our transfer safety from Iowa State. He was top 10 in the portal. One of my favorite players. He's the man.
Yep.
So, what do you think about our roster, Jerrod?
I mean,
I don't think we have an updated depth chart yet.
I mean, again, like, hearing about these 5-star recruits aside, I mean, I know that, what is it, Peoples, he's a part of this team now. He was from Ohio State. He might be RB3. I mean, we've got plenty of, running backs. Holy cow. It was the whole, Allen and Nick Singleton era, but it's like now with geez Louise, we got everybody. We at least leave 5 or 6. It's crazy. I mean, we got. But yeah, I mean, with their familiar names like Andrew, how do you say that last name? Rapale?
Yeah, Andrew Rapale.
Yeah. I mean, we got him back. Tony Rojas, linebacker. I'm trying to think of like familiar names that I've seen from the last season. I mean, Quentin Martin Jr., yeah, that's going to be a good name. Kobe Howard, yes, that's important to get the wide receivers right. I mean, as far as wide receivers, like I see Brett God dang, why are these names so difficult?
Eccleston,
thank you. I'm like, I know I'm going to butcher that name if I say it wrong. Peter Gonzalez. Yeah, I mean, it's so far looking like we got that Keith Jones from Grambling. I'm seeing again all the different names you see for Iowa State. I mean, we got this Jordan Meyer from Wisconsin, Alexander McPherson from Colorado, McDaniels
Jerrod,
from Syracuse. What?
Look at this.
Yeah.
Dude, I found this on Reddit just now. Someone made a customizable depth chart.
Huh.
It's called psudepthchart.com. You can make your own depth chart. That's crazy.
That is so cool. That'd been very helpful, when I was doing my Madden years for my Super Nintendo.
Yeah. All right. So keep talking, Jerrod. I'm going to try to put this together for everybody.
Yeah, no problem, dude. I mean,
that's really cool, man.
That is
Someone
so
actually
awesome.
did that. Like that's crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at what do you have here again? The Chase Sowell, again, a wide receiver from Colorado. What is it? Kalpaki, the defensive line from UCLA. Let's see, Trice from Mississippi State. I'm just looking for the guys who transferred. We got this one junior, the defensive line guy from Utah. I don't want Dallas Vicala. Gosh, I mean, can't we just have some Smiths? Keanu Williams from Oregon. I mean, I feel like a lot of these guys, it's nice that we got like 18 guys from Iowa State. I feel like the most part, this roster feels like they are bringing in a lot of guys from their old school. So, I mean, it helps to know what you're planning when you have all of your guys. I mean, does this mean that Rocco Becht is going to be like Big Ten quarterback of the year? I mean, I feel like this is a good potential for him. But again, we need to see what the other defenses, how they play against guys like him. And it's definitely wait and see kind of ordeal. But if I was to give a complete grade, I mean, I'm going to give it a solid B for now, just because, again, I don't know what they look like, but I do like the additions. Like, it's important for you to answer a lot of the, linebacker position. So it's like, we got the one guy from Iowa State, 6'4", 240, Caleb Bacon.
Yep.
Let's see here.
We should be linebacker you again here soon.
Yeah, I'm going to get the positions here so I can get all the linebackers. So Tony Rojas is coming back. LeVar Arrington the second, obviously. Alex Tache?
Alex Tash, yep.
Yeah. And Cam Smith, Caleb Bacon, Cal Brazina, Cooper Aleb, John Kolsterman, Chris Filippo. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing like what their sizes are. It's like I see a bunch of 6'2s and 6'4s, 230, 240, 235. And again, we have a lot of Iowa State guys that are linebackers. So knowing that is a part of the depth that he's going to build. And, again, Deontay Lynn, I expect him to get everybody ready for what's the linebacker coach? Who is that?
Penn State linebacker coach?
Yes.
Hold on a second. I got to remember Tyson Veet.
Tyson Veet.
He was the Cincinnati's defensive coordinator. But we got Dan Connor too. We got like 2 or 3 linebackers.
Yeah, coaches. I did see that Dan Connor was the linebacker name.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We have 3 defensive coordinators on our defense. Coaching.
Okay. Yeah.
3 defensive coordinators. They were defensive coordinators, now they're whatever now. Like,
yeah.
Dude, that's
so,
like,
I mean, I feel like this. No, I'm just saying, like, the whole idea that we've got these players that are coming in to learn this system on this stage. I mean, it's really just going to come down to the transfer of the Big 12 to the Big 10. And yes, it is a night and day situation. But no, I think these they sound pretty good. Again, the size is what I'm looking at. So if I see a bunch of 6'2", 6'4" guys, 240, 230 pounds average, yeah, that will definitely take care of a running back. You know, anything like a line, I feel like we have a better opportunity, again, with the schedule we have favorable. I think the roster could be in the top 5 best defenses. I mean, we could definitely get ourselves back to what we once were. I feel like that was just such a lost year. It was so chaotic because, again, there was not a whole lot of communication with the coaching. I feel like with this particular coaching staff, I feel like we're going to be a much better team that communicates better, gets their plays off. I think they're going to be a better sound guys. So overall, I feel like we do have a great chance to get somewhere with this schedule that we have coming up this year. Yeah.
We have a pretty good roster. I just put it, dude. This is crazy. Like,
it's so cool.
Reddit's a good place, man, to find like some cool stuff. But
can you blow that up anymore? Much better. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. All right, so just bear with us here, guys. All right, so I kind of put it together. This is just kind of a rough put together.
That's so cool.
Riker as our center. Donka, I think, would play guard again. He's going to be one of our best guys. Sexton, Cousins, and Ona. Then we got Becht. Oh, I didn't do a running back. Geez. Am I going to be biased? No, I'm not going to be biased. So Hanson as our running back. And then we got like Quentin Martin. Quentin Martin's going to play some slot, I think, but we'll have Quentin Martin, Hanson, and Peoples as our main backs.
Right.
Beck is our quarterback. Hanson's our running back. I'm just guessing Eccleston because he's Brett. Kobe Howard in the slot, and then Black on the outside. Kortovich most likely, I think, will be our starting tight end.
Very nice.
And then defense, I just picked the biggest guys.
Right.
On D tackle, but Carnell 6'5", 290. Zagu 6'5", 285. McPherson 6'6", 240. Kamaju 6'3", 252. But we also have Granville. Granville actually will probably be a starter. We'll see. I don't know. And then we've got Jackson Ford, who is 6'5", 240. So I'll just pick the biggest guy. 6'6", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5". Then I got Darius Dixon, Zion Tracy in the slot, and then Davian Collins on the outside. And we got Cooper and Torrey in the backfield. Nice. Then we got Bacon and Rojas. Like, dude, that's
a sick. Yeah, I like that build. That was cool, dude. I mean, you show that every time. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, dude. That's crazy, man. But yeah, guys. Breaking news: go to psudepthchart.com and make your own depth chart. That's freaking crazy that someone did that. Wow, I think that's really cool.
That is so. Awesome.
But we also don't know what kind of defense we're going to run yet. Like, I think we could get away with a 4-2-5. They did that at Iowa State because they didn't have the talent. I forget the one linebacker's name that played at Iowa State. He played in a 4-2-5. He was so good. Like, he's like an all-pro in the NFL, but he was so good that he had like multiple sacks in that set. Or they played, was it a 3-3-5? I think they played like a 3-3-5.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. And this defensive end, I can't remember his name, Iowa State defensive end, but he was so good that he got like sacks in the 3-3-5. Like, that's hard.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me try to find his name. No, it's not Jack Campbell. Darn it. I forget his name. But he was like, he's good. But yeah, Jerrod, our roster and the depth chart, I think we have a pretty good idea what our depth chart's going to look like. But again, like Thomas said, we got to stay healthy. Right. So that is an important aspect of this is we got to stay healthy.
I do feel like that because it is their first few years. I mean, this is their first full season. A new era is coming. So I feel like that's not going to give you a lot of depth because, again, you're just trying to find your footing. And with unfortunately, that's the thing. When you're starting construction, like your own business, like you're not going to get the best material right off the bat. I mean, unfortunately, you have to work with kind of secondhand stuff, a little bit of like softer material, like not as like, reliable. But like once you start knowing what will work and how you can get it there, that's when you can start, being able to afford and have that years of experience to actually build the right foundation. So it does come with time. So
we could have 6'5" and 6'4" out at receiver with Kobe Howard at the slot. But our offensive line is going to be 6'6". This is just a guess again. 6'5", 6'4". Our center's 6'4". That's
a tall center. Cow.
6'6" and 6'5". So 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", 6'5". That's our offensive line. Our tight ends are 6'4" plus. Rocco's 6'1", Hanson's 6'2" as a running back. And then we could have a 6'4" and a 6'5" receiver. And then at defense, we've got a defensive line. We got 6'6", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5". Defensive tackles are 290 and 285. Our defensive ends are 240 and 240. Our linebackers are 6'4", 240, 6'2", 230. And Rojas he's a hybrid. He's like a safety. So 6'2", 230 safety pretty much. And then we got 6 foot and 6'1" at safety, 208 and 195. Then we got 6 foot, 5'11" and 5'11" at defensive back. So man, that's a tall. And Alex Tash is going to see some time too. One of my favorite guys, but you think about our defensive line averages 6'4", 300 now. Last year, it was less than 6'2", 270. We were small last year, man. And we weren't good enough to be small. So this year we got some size. Like that's that's crazy.
I mean, 6'5", 6'6". I mean, give me that all the time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, but we got some size, man. And we have guys that are going to fit. I'm happy with our roster. We do need some more depth. We got depth at quarterback, running back. That's the thing. They got depth without even trying. They got Peoples from Ohio State. Right. So they got depth without even trying. But, again, like defensive end, I think we could use another guy, maybe another receiver.
Yep.
We'll see. I think receiver is going to be a big question mark. Like, how can they do? We got that kid from Grambling. He's 6'4", 6'5". So, we'll see how it plays out. But I'm happy. You have anything else to say about the roster?
No, I'm good to go, bud.
All right, so Mike McCarthy hired with the Steelers, and Arthur Smith goes to Ohio State. So, yeah. What do you think, Jerrod?
Oh, dude, listen. You know that you're in a bad position when your coaching staff of your former coach can't even get another OC job in the NFL, so you have to go to college. Listen, that's one of the best colleges you have to go to, but I'm saying that's just insane. To hear that news, I'm like, I see the breaking news, and I saw Ohio State. I went, you've got to be kidding me. Like, really? This is what you gave us, Pittsburgh? You gave us an offensive coordinator that when the other head coach leaves and you try to go find another job, you can't even get Tennessee. You can't even get Arizona. Like, come on. Wow.
It's crazy.
It is.
It really is.
I mean, listen, it's going to be great for college. I mean, when you have NFL experience and you got he's going to be fine in the college world. Fine.
He'll be fine. I mean, I don't think he's a good fit at Ohio State, but he'll be fine. Ohio State's falling off, man. They really are. Like, yeah, they're falling off. I don't know. Can Caleb Downs, is he coming back? Is he going to the NFL? Did he declare, Caleb Downs?
Let's see here.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is that what position does he play?
Safety. He's one of So I think he
declared.
declared.
I don't see him on the chart.
Like, he could be a top 5 pick. Like, that's how good he is.
Yeah.
But he's leaving. Like, they got Lord Farquaad as their quarterback. They lost a couple of receivers. They lost a running back.
Yeah.
But Patricia, where did Patricia go?
Oh gosh. Oh, what did I see? I know I know what you're saying. I know I heard that word.
Matt Patricia, he's the DC of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Did he leave? But Hartline left to go to South Florida. Ohio State fans said he would never leave because they're the greatest thing since Jesus Christ, but they're not. So he left.
Yeah.
I think he is leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying like where, but I mean, it says like he on January 5th. Like, not seeing any exact like destination, but it sounds like he might try to go back to New England. I'm not.
Okay. Well, it sucks that the Patriots made the Super Bowl.
Oh, he was hired. No, hold on. No. Yeah. I was going to say, I just found something. No, it's not. That's not recent. That's okay. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to Matt Patricia.
Wasn't the Seahawks the 1 seed back when Penn State or the Steelers played them in 2005? Right? They were the 1 seed.
I don't know about that. Let me see. Steelers, Seahawks.
I wish they still had the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye. That'd be great.
That would be. No, dude.
All right.
Yeah, they were number 1 seed. Yeah, you're right. They were the number 1 seed. They were 13-3. We beat them 21.
That was a good team. So we beat. All right. So I have it up right now. We beat the 3 seed, the 1 seed, and then the 2 seed because the Broncos beat the Patriots that year. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jaguars lost to we played the Bengals and beat them, and then the Patriots beat the Jags, and then we beat and then the Patriots lost to Denver, and we lost to Indy, or we beat Indy, and the Patriots lost to Denver. So we beat 3, 2, and 1, and won.
Yep. That was the legendary Jerome Bettis fumbled in the end zone, and Big Ben had to tackle the guy from scoring the touchdown. That was so insane to see that Ben was all the way back there like that and be able to bring him down.
And that guy that was tackled, he had stitches in his leg that game.
Yep.
Because his wife, I think it was, or his girlfriend, stabbed him in the leg.
Jesus.
Yeah, so he had stitches in his leg. Man, what was that guy's name? But yeah, he had a bum leg. But
wow.
So that game, you'll remember, early on, we didn't know how they were going to do.
No. Well, I think they said it was the first time in the history of the game that the number 6 seed went all the way. Because again, I don't think that's ever happened. We were the road team the whole time.
And then the Packers did it to us in 2010.
Yeah.
They were the 6th seed. We were, I believe, 1 or 2 that year.
Yeah.
We were number 1 in 2008, I think, and then 2010, I think we were 1 or 2. I think we were 2. But early on in that game, first of all, we beat the Bengals. We got lucky with Palmer. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Yep. Kimo von Oldhoffen rolled into him, tore his ACL. We got lucky there in the sense because John Kitna was pretty good too, but he wasn't as good as Carter Palmer. That was a really good team the Bengals had that year.
Yes. Was that still the Marvin Lewis years, or was that just before Marvin Lewis?
No, he was there. Yeah, he was there for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about Mike Tomlin. Holy crap.
That's what I said. It was the rebirth of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. And then they go into Indy. And early on, they threw this pass down the left side to Heath Miller, and he caught it.
Yep.
And I remember we had these little cushion chairs. They were like just rounded.
Yep.
and they rocked. They could rock back and forth. They were light blue. We got them for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I had my terrible towels watching it by myself. I don't remember why. I was like 13.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as he caught that ball, I stood up and I took my terrible towel and I was whipping that chair. I was so happy because I'm like, dude, we have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, this is the number 1 seed in the AFC, and we just moved the ball down the field. And we were like at our own 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment is when I knew this is a real team. I was like, we got a shot. And then the Bettis fumble and the Troy Polamalu not interception and the missed kick by Peyton Manning's idiot kicker, Mike Vanderjagt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew we were going to win in Denver. I knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
They had Jake Plummer as their quarterback, Purdue guy. I saw Jake Plummer play at Penn State once.
Wow.
For Purdue.
Huh.
But I knew we were going to win that game. And then I had a feeling we would beat Seattle, you know, but that's the thing. Seattle, no, not Jake Plummer. That's not who I saw. I saw, who did I see? Jake Plummer played at Arizona State. Kyle Orton is who I saw play at Penn State.
Okay.
Kyle Orton. But they had Jake Plummer, right? Jake Plummer was their quarterback, right?
Yes.
And then going into the Super Bowl, I was confident about that too, because that Colts team was so good. That's one of the best offenses we've ever seen in the NFL. And they got beat at home after a bye by the number 6 seed. And 21-10. Now that's one of the most controversial Super Bowls there is because of the holding call. And there was one other thing, but they had that Antoine Randall receiver pass to Hines Ward, won the MVP. But anyway, sorry, Jerrod.
No, you're good, dude. I'm just
McCarthy.
Listen, we're talking about the Bill Cowher years. We're talking about the good stuff.
So, what do you think about McCarthy? I was ranting. I don't
know.
No,
dude, I love it. I love talking that stuff. But, dude, I don't know if you saw my episode recently, but I said in a percentage, I'm at a 75%. I don't know why you did this, to a 25%. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I mean, I have to have just some percentage of leniency. I just feel like, you got to give at least the door open just a little bit. Maybe they can open it up. I'm not sure, but it basically is the safe pick. It's the safe choice. I mean, listen, I'm not saying this is a macho thing or this is a guy thing, but if you're out with your guys and you look over at the bar and you see the row of girls and, they're all looking good. And then there's that one that is just like, that you could go and pick her up, but you couldn't pick that one up. I just feel like we were hoping that we were finally going to have our guy go pick that girl up that he couldn't get. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we were all like in this mindset. They're like, dude, you just got out of a bad relationship with Tomlin. that girl, we just got out of that relationship. There she is over there. That could be the one you could get now. Just try and go after her. No, you went with that other girl that looks just like your ex. And it's just like, great. It's like, it's safe. It's boring. And it makes a lot of people deflated. I mean, this is the initial reaction. I think as the months go on, I think we're going to kind of bring it back down, because there are two things that I do like about this is the fact that he is an offensive guy, regardless of how old he is and if it is McCarthy. It's an offensive minded coach, which is something the Steelers have not had in neons. Dude, you're talking about your grandparents may have just been born kind of era. And yeah, but number two is that he's from Pittsburgh. I mean, you got to try to find some positives. And I feel like, the guy's a Yinzer. He'll be saying Yinzers all over the place. And he'll probably come out in this conference and say, hey, what's up, Yinzer? Do something to start the conference out right. He is that kind of old school guy that it's like your grandfather coming in to town. And yeah, I mean, he may have had his days and he can tell you stories, but you don't expect him to still have that ability to do another rebuild. I mean, I don't think the dude's ever been a part of a rebuild. I don't think he ever has, because he went into the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers transition, and then he went to the good years of Dak Prescott. So it's like, where did you develop your quarterback? When was that? When were you a part of that? I don't remember that. So that's really the big question is, can the Steelers do something with an offensive-minded guy that has never developed a quarterback? And we don't have one right now. I mean, in that regard of like, I cannot say that Will Howard is just going to all of a sudden be Tom Brady reborn or like a new version of, Tom Brady. That's what it would have to be in order for this to go down. So I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers can't come back, because I do feel like that is another reason why they did this. But I mean, you're asking a dude who's 62 years old to coax a 42-year-old to come back like that. These are two men that, were both alive when Atari was popular. I mean, this is just unbelievable that you have a head coach and a quarterback that don't even know what the gaming world is like anymore, because, you still had your Walkman. You had, give me your answering machine, your Xeroxes. I mean, it's old school. Give me the Rolodex. Go get a rotary phone. I mean, just name all the stuff that's about as ancient as these guys. Like, this is really what it feels. It feels outdated and it feels safe. I mean, we're definitely kind of going in this direction of like, well, we're just spinning our wheels. We're kicking the can down the road. And it's unfortunate, but we haven't seen anything yet. Again, I made a big point about this. For all we know, Mike McCarthy, who has not been a head coach for 3 years, could have spent his entire free time just coming up with plays. I mean, the guy does have a good mind. He does. I've never said that Mike McCarthy was a bad coach, but I don't know if it's the kind of coach that's going to put you in the right era. Like, I don't know if it's going to get into that next generation. I don't know. I feel like that's really the big question. Can he mesh with that? Can he be a part of this kind of identity where it's like you have to score 30, 35 points in order to outlast such and such? I mean, it's really just, it's a very inconsistent times. I'm trying my darndest to come up with the right words, but it's definitely the tougher one to figure out, because you're trying your darndest as a fan to wrap your head around the fact that you had all these different options and you went with the guy that no one saw coming. I remember when his name popped up for an interview, I went, what? Why is he on? And I had no idea. And then I saw he got the second interview and the in-person. I was like, no way. No, you're not doing it. And I saw on my phone. I just was like, God almighty. I mean, you did it. You actually just you deflated everyone's chances of being excited. It was like the biggest balloon pop I've ever felt. I'm just like, great. What? Fine. This is just, you want to stick with this. That's Art Rooney. That's what the organization's going to be. Fine. It's just, I'll be a Steelers fan still, but this is what you got right now.
Yeah. Record comparison. The only thing I think he's better at than Tomlin is the playoffs and records. But
slightly.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah, give up 40 plus. Not my first choice, but to me, most of the time, anybody that comes to Pittsburgh, they're better. They can be better as a player, or better as a coach. Tomlin doesn't have a huge coaching tree. Debo hates him. He hates Mike Tomlin. He hates him with a passion. He said he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I somewhat agree with that.
But dude, I mean, I'm not going to try to like exclude that or just try to dismiss it, but I feel like the coaching tree thing can be a muddled subject, because the Steelers are one of the more unique organizations in all of football. Like, they are just built differently. So I don't really know, like, did Chuck Noll have a coaching tree? Did Bill Cowher have a coaching tree? I mean, I don't remember that being the conversation in Pittsburgh. Maybe that does happen in the NFL, but I'm just saying in terms of Pittsburgh, I don't think that these guys produce that. I just think that they are more of like, we're going to be responsible for giving these guys the success. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, between Cowher's, like, crazy, I'm getting ready to retire and I want to go out on top kind of mentality, and the drafting that they did and the trades that they made in the 2000s when Mike Tomlin took over, dude, it was like walking in, you know, the Home Alone 2 scene where the whole family goes into that hotel and there's nothing but gifts all over the place. That's what Mike Tomlin walked into when he walked as the Steelers head coach. He had gifts from one side of the room to the other. He had a really good Christmas that year. So I just feel like that's an organizational thing. I mean, we had that mindset for quite some time. Like basically ever since Chuck Noll went on the decline and Bill Cowher came in, we had the 95 Super Bowl. And then the 90s kind of went what it did as soon as Big Ben showed up, as soon as we knew we had that first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback talent. It was it. Like Bill Cowher was that dude. He put them in the right position and everyone showed up. Troy Polamalu just got drafted. It was like everything started going in motion. And for 7-8 years straight, we had one of the best defenses. It was a great whole staff. Like Dick LeBeau, dude. I mean, he's the legend of Pittsburgh. Everyone talks about, you know, Bill Cowher and everything, but I'm like, I always think of Dick LeBeau when I think of like legendary coaches. He was just such a dude on the field, and he molded those guys into some of the best players, you know, of the century. We are talking about one of the best times you had in the AFC North. Like the Ravens and Steelers rival was epic because of how good their defense was to ours. We had the names, but I just feel like I always put the moment that it all started to change was the year Ryan Shazier went down.
Yeah,
that year that
didn't help.
Oh, dude, I felt like Tomlin, I don't know if something died in him that day, but it just felt like there wasn't that same fight, that same hunger to want to be competitive. And it just seemed like it dwindled as it went along.
Yeah, when the Patriots came to Heinz Field that year, Gronk was the difference. Ryan Shazier would have been on Gronk, and he wasn't playing. They beat us with Gronk. That killed us. We probably could have won the Super Bowl that year. Ryan Shazier probably would have been a Hall of Famer. He was so good. He got paralyzed, not fully, thankfully, but that was crazy, man. Because he's talked about that, and he said like when he went to hit that guy, he said he was trying to like show something like the new tackling method or something like that. Like, he was just screwing around.
Yeah.
And I remember when he went down, I was dead sick. Like, I had the flu, and I was on the couch. I was on a chair like this. I was just like looking down at the TV. I was like dead.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw that, I'm like, dude, like people need to calm down. Like, he's fine. He just hurt his back or whatever. And I remember who was number 98, our linebacker?
Oh gosh.
Williams, Vance Williams.
Yeah, Vance Williams. Yeah. Oh, that was his dude. I mean, that was his best friend. Yeah, that was his butt on the team. Yeah.
Arthur Moats has a podcast, but Vance Williams, he was standing there with Tomlin, and he said, and Vance was like freaking out, and Tom was like, dude, like, you're good. Like, we're good. Like, he'll be, you know, Tomlin had no idea that he was probably paralyzed. But then the announcer was like, yeah, he hasn't moved his legs. And you've seen that. I've seen that before. You know, you get knocked out, you're not moving your limbs. But he was like moving around his hands. He said his back was burning. And he's like, yeah, his legs aren't moving. And like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That was a huge loss.
Yeah. And, you know, the 2018 season, after the year after that happened, I felt like, you know, we had Big Ben at 36. You know, we lost a lot of those guys to retirement, the 2005, 2008 team. And they just felt like they were transitioning from that to the Cam Hayward guys, who was big by that point. I mean, we were just going to get Minkah Fitzpatrick 2019. Like, it was like you were a year away from just compiling a lot of names. But I don't know, like between our defensive coordinating and Tomlin itself, I just always felt like it never worked. Like, again, it felt like the Franklin conversation, the chess pieces were on the board, but it just never, they didn't know where to put them. It just, they never had that same type of fight. They never had that same type of just, I don't know, leadership or play calling. Like this just went wrong. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. And then when Ben retired, it was that was it. Everything pretty much went out the window. Nothing was consistent. You talk about how the defense had names, but it didn't matter because the offense couldn't do anything. We finally had offensive players, but again, it just seems like we could never get them on the same page. I mean, the whole George Pickens thing just ticks me off right now. Because again, it's like the dude had like 1,600 yards from Dak Prescott this year. It's like, we should have had a 1,600-yard passer, but
Dak, there's an it factor when it comes to quarterbacks, and Dak does not have that it factor. And I don't really want to count his time at Dallas because Dallas is an absolute train wreck of an organization.
Oh, dude, Jerry Jones, my gosh.
It's an embarrassment. So
Good joke.
I think Mike McCarthy can fit, and I think he can come in and do good, and I think he can do better with us. So we'll see how it plays out. I think he can do better, but between him and Tomlin, man, Tomlin needed to go. I think Mike McCarthy's a football guy. To be honest, with Franklin for years, it's like we just need a chance. So Franklin's gone. Now we have a chance. With Mike McCarthy, okay, now we have a chance. We have a chance at a top 5 pick. We have a chance at a Super Bowl. We have a chance now. Tomlin, we did not have a chance at either. So I don't care if we suck and get a top 5 pick. We should do that.
But
that doesn't mean he should be fired.
Right,
I think McCarthy will be fine. So
right, but my point with Tomlin was, if you're only good with one side of the ball, in which that was the case, he was only defense. He never knew how to establish an offensive scheme. Now, when it was the Killer B years, wasn't that mostly Todd Haley? I mean, he was a crazy offensive coordinator. I mean, that dude deserved his title. He definitely was one of the more important coaches of that era. So, I mean, people talk, well, what about the, Killer Bees? Didn't they have a good offense? It's like, well, dude, it was these players just were in the right position. Brown just knew how to always get open on the sideline, and Ben knew how to put it right there on the side. That was magic watching those sideline throws with him and Brown. And Bell, dude, Bell is arguably one of the greatest running backs at ever creating his own holes. I've never seen a guy be like a magician. I always loved how you would watch the line here, and you would see this man just kind of hesitate, and all of a sudden right through. I mean, it was somehow he was waiting. I don't know how he would never got through, but there was just somehow a hole would come out and he would be gone. It was insane. I have never seen players maneuver like that. And it was one of the better offensive lines we've ever had too. So that was a lot of the good things going, but again, it never seemed like it was the right message with Tomlin. I always feel like you had the Cowher years and you had that early success because of those guys. And then when it was your own team, it just became like you relied solely on Big Ben. I'm sorry, that needs to be a big factor of well, what about, he always was a good coach with Ben. It's like, no. Big Ben was good because he was Big Ben. He didn't need anybody, to coach him. And that's what Tomlin knew. Tomlin knew he didn't have to touch Big Ben. He knew as long as he was his quarterback, they were always going to be in the conversations. That right there, he had a good security blanket with Ben. And when it was gone, you saw what happened. That quarterback carousel was atrocious, was bad. And look, I mean, even with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, did Aaron Rodgers ever have a defensive-minded coach? I mean, if it was Robert Saleh. Yeah, he's defensive-minded.
Robert Saleh,
Yeah, Rob Saleh, he's defensive-minded. So it didn't work in New York. And when he was with Tomlin, it was a defensive-minded guy. So it's if you're head coach is defensive-minded with Aaron Rodgers, it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the thing. Mike McCarthy could very well be the reason why they, want him because of Aaron Rodgers. Now, again, if it doesn't work out that Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, now what? What do you got? You got Will Howard, you got Mason Rudolph, and you got no draft picks. I mean, Mendoza's going to be gone to the Raiders pretty much for the first pick or whoever's the first round draft pick. So there's no chance for a coach. Now, the one thing I will say, Malik Willis from Green Bay, he is a free agent. He could be available. So if they were to somehow pick him up and McCarthy brings in, I mean, I'm in a perfect world, Shieldhouse could still be available for an offensive coordinator position, but I doubt he'd want to go not be a head coach, because everyone's talking about how he's got a chance of being a head coach, but he's never had in the NFL a position coach. Like, he was never that. He was a passing game coordinator. And it's like, I don't like it when a guy does not have that credential. I mean, look at Mike Tomlin. He was like a defensive end specialist or something, and then he got the head coaching job at Pittsburgh. I mean, it can happen, but I just don't feel like if you don't have all the tools and you haven't been where you need to, like if you haven't had the coaching, steps like you have, to be a head coach, I just feel like it would be so cool if a guy like Shieldhouse was available and he was to work with McCarthy and be like the offensive guy. That would be really cool. Malik Willis, dude, if you saw his numbers at Green Bay when he stepped in for Jordan Love, dude was on fire. He was like what Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold looked like last night. Did you see that game against the Seahawks and Rams?
Yeah.
Woo, that was awesome. That's what football is right there. That is fun playoff football.
Yeah, the Super Bowl's here, man. Sucks the Patriots made it back, but
if only we could have had the Rams and the Seahawks be the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Jerrod, I'm going to wrap it up here, but is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. I'm good, bud.
All right, guys. That's Jerrod's thoughts on the staff, the roster, and McCarthy and Arthur Smith and everything else. But all right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Probably be on Tuesday with Brett. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.